Remember when I told you that Freddie Gibbs is probably going to become a top rapper in the game? This is a this is really big going towards that direction. We going live from the underground. What up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back with another live from the underground. Here we go in on particular topics in the music industry that happen daily. And today, there was no story that was bigger than Freddie Gibbs and Gunna and academics going back and forth on Twitter, in which they was going back and forth for only a little bit, but it's been trending all day. Which is crazy when you think about it. And Freddie Gibbs, one of my favorite rappers from the underground for like 12 years, that I said like a long time ago, yo, Freddie Gibbs is nice. There's going to be a point where he'll become the biggest artist in the mainstream. And there was a good period of time that I was thinking, you know what, maybe that's not going to come true. But as time continues to progress and you begin to see things like this, the more you realize it can become a reality. For those of you who don't know, okay, Gunna, who's going along there with the whole movement, the slime movement, the everything that's in Atlanta, because he sounds a lot like Young Thug, like Young Thug's movement that he's been going on. There's a bunch of people that sound like him, and because of that, a lot of numbers have been being moved. It is what it is. Gunna is one of those individual artists that is on his way up. Well, he's already up and all that stuff. But, hold up, somebody up in here? What up, Sean? What's good? Drip or drown, drip or fina. But for sure, like, okay. So Gunna has an anticipated project that's coming up as, what's it called? The what is the new album called? It's the Drip Seasons 4. Drip Seasons 4 is supposed to be coming out. Is it this week or next week? I'm not entirely sure, but it's one that people have been anticipating. It's one that people are honestly waiting on. And they just announced today, he just announced today that he has a track where he will be dissing Freddie Gibbs. But, I mean, he did it in like the worst way possible. Said that, yo, and his direct quotes on Twitter, like, you always check grammatical errors before you post anything, because you're just going to give individuals like Freddie Gibbs, who love to troll on Twitter, you're going to give him more ammunition. But what Gunna said was, when my album drop, Freddie Gibbs will the biggest moment of his career. Yeah. Now, clearly, what Gunna means here is when he drops whatever new song or whatever new diss that he has for Freddie Gibbs, it's going to be the biggest moment that Freddie Gibbs have ever had in his career. He should be thankful that he's even on my album. He's being mentioned on my album. I'm going to make him a star because I'm so much bigger, so much better than him. But yet, the way you put that is like so bad, you should have tried to delete it and really do it the right way. Because Gibbs came back, but he really said Freddie Gibbs will be the biggest moment of his career. Thank you. And then he comes back saying, yo, I love Gunna music. I think he's one of the best making music. So to be recognized by one of the best is a blessing. Now, don't take this get back personal. And that's the thing. Like, Gunna clearly is a much bigger artist. Way more people demand Gunna than they do of Freddie Gibbs. But Freddie Gibbs got under his skin to the point that now Freddie Gibbs, as he continues to make his way up in the industry, still making waves, even after, getting beat up by Jim Jones. It is what it is. Sometimes you just gotta take an L. From what I've been hearing from all over the internet, all the sources, yeah, Freddie Gibbs might have been the one who rolled up on Jim Jones, and they the ones who got beat up. But Freddie Gibbs ain't have a mark on him, so it's kind of strange. But ultimately, Freddie Gibbs has a way of picking at you until you finally break down. And it seems as though Gunna finally fell for the bait. Now he's going to be having 20 seconds of being featured on a Gunna song, and the hype for it is already ridiculous. As I said, Twitter has been trending all day pretty much about this potential diss. And it's only like 5 seconds, as DJ Academics is saying. I guess DJ Academics was in his little whip listening to it. As DJ Academics says himself, this is this 5 seconds hotter than anything Frederick Gibbs ever released in his life. So he's listening to the snippet, the 5-second snippet of the diss, saying that this is better than anything Freddie Gibbs has done. I severely doubt it. I haven't heard the snippet. I don't know. I'm not trying to cast doubts, but let me just keep it 1,000 with you. Gunna is not a phenomenal rapper. Freddie Gibbs is. If you go back to Freddie Gibbs' previous albums, his mixtapes, some of the best work that he's done in his previous career that people don't even really know all like that. Straight killer, no filler. Go back to what was it? Was it Gangsta Fan Cadillac Music? Go back to Labels Trying to Kill Me, which was a collaboration of all of his underground works that he was signed to a record label, but the labels didn't want to put it out. Labels didn't want to do anything with him. They honestly didn't want to support him, so he was stuck in limbo for quite some time, and he had to fight his way out of it. But the music that he was dropping at that time, the miseducation of Freddie Gibbs. So you're telling me that this 5 seconds of whatever it is that Gunna is releasing is better than all of that? Like, I mean, I'll even go to later projects. Like, look at Pinata. Not one of my favorites because, I mean, he was catering to the real hip hop, quote unquote, real hip hop crowd with this one. And it was, I mean, it was good. It was good. I liked it, but yet it was not on the level of what his previous, like, undefeated best works from the underground was. But yet he took and reinvented what that real hip hop sound is, and he continued with it up until till now. Like the recent joint that he did, well, one of my favorite songs off that was what's it called? The Giannis song that he did. Like all that was fire. So to say that whatever song that Gunna is about to put out, dissing Freddie Gibbs, is going to be better than anything that Gibbs done, you're just being disingenuous. And it's because DJ Academics have his own problems with Freddie Gibbs, which whatever, they've been beefing back and forth on social media because Gibbs just be clowning him, dude. As he should. Like yesterday, he it looked Academics sent a message to Freddie Gibbs on IG or something like, "Yo, what's your number? We can talk this out." Like, man, what's your number? And he gave Freddie Gibbs his number, And Freddie Gibbs took a screenshot of it and put it out so people can go ahead and send academics messages. And you know, when I saw it, I couldn't resist. What did I say? Let me pull up my message that I sent to I sent academics a couple messages, actually. I sent academics a couple messages. The first message I said, yo, is this the number of the dude who only talks shit to women until they pull a strap on him and then he gets Drake-like sensitive? This ain't your number. No response. So I waited a few minutes, came back. Yo, not the tether who instigates beef for clout, but then when gets confronted by people like the Migos, he gets tongue-tied. Not you. So Sean was like, yo, DJ Chuck E. Cheese need to stop lying. This is trash. I haven't heard it yet. Again, I haven't heard it yet. I'm going to wait until the album comes out. I want to hear about it. I want to hear it when it does come out. But I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm 9 times out of 10 sure that it's right. Sean also says, Jim Jones got them hands. He do. You can't deny it. Hey, man, when people roll up on you and they don't make it out, yeah, you got to give respect to Jim Jones for his hand game, dog. He said Pinata was fire. Pinata was fire. I don't think it was his best work, but Pinata is easily better than anything that Gunna has ever done. Sean says he plays more Gibbs than Gunna any time of the week, as you should, because we're talking about a far superior MC. Now, I will say Gunna ending up dissing Freddie Gibbs and him saying that this is going to be the biggest moment of his career, it could have some truth to it. That definitely could have some truth to it because, I mean, Gunna, like I've said, is like he's riding that wave. He's riding that Young Thug wave. He is a super hyped artist. People do check him for anything that he does, even though what he be doing be whack. Like, do you be seeing how Gunna be dressing, dude? Dude be having like the Shawn Michaels boots. Like he about trying to super kick somebody with some skin tight jeans. And he be thinking that he be stunting with these shades that really don't insinuate anything. Like, I'm not a fashion guru. I'm just saying how this dude be dressing is not as gangster as he tries to claim to be. And I mean, it's kind of funny, but I mean, you know, that's kind of the wave that Young Thug kind of brought onto the scene with the whole him being super fashionable and questionable with his fashion, but yet he takes it to a whole nother level. And Gunna is just riding with that wave, and he's actually one of those that got a lot of numbers, by one of the few that got the support, that's been getting a lot of the numbers, that's becoming huge, well, who has become huge just based off of that. So when he says, yo, he's giving Freddie Gibbs the biggest moment of his career by dissing him, could be true. Could definitely be true. But let's keep it 1,000. Let's keep it 1,000. Freddie Gibbs is going to take that and run with it and become a bigger artist than he will ever be. And that could be possible because the quality of music that Freddie Gibbs is known for is tenfold better. The more exposure that Freddie Gibbs can get for his music, the better he's going to be. Now, how much of this is going to actually work out, we'll see. Because, you know, a lot of people out here today, they're not really listening to music. As I said in the Nas Flopped video, a lot of people don't listen to music. They don't care about anything. they're not. So it wouldn't shock me if a lot of Gunna's fans, they only listen to Gunna. They'll take his word for it, whatever it is that Gunna says. They're going to listen to it. They're not going to be like, oh, let me check out who this Freddie Gibbs guy is to see who's better. People don't do that. Why? Because people don't listen to music. Because people are sheep. So how much of Gunna actually dissing Freddie Gibbs will transition over to helping Freddie Gibbs continue to become bigger in the game? Who knows? I'm not sure exactly. But given the fact that this has been viral on Twitter, so much so that I had no choice to come in but to talk about this. Like, there's other topics that we could have talked about today. Like, the Aaliyah album is about to come out, and they decided not to put Timbaland or Missy Elliott on it. They put a bunch of commercial people that had no association with Aaliyah. Now, they did it because they want this project to be bigger, but yet there's a whole generation of singers that's directly descendants of what Aaliyah was doing that they could have featured on this. A lot of women that showed the utmost love to Aaliyah that they could have featured that got names, but instead they just went with Drake and the bigger name so that they can maximize the most sales out of it. We could have talked about that. Didn't happen. Instead, because this went viral and everybody everywhere is talking about it, we had to talk about this. So therefore, I do believe a lot of the audience that Gunna has, because he's dissing him, a lot of it is going to transfer over to Freddie Gibbs. Especially if Freddie Gibbs comes back with like a fire diss track, like I know that he can do, that anybody who's listened to Freddie Gibbs know that he can do, that anybody realize that he's a far superior artist. Oh, Sean is saying, yo, Jim Jones does not have hands. His L streak is legendary. Okay, so he's been getting beat up, even though we hear that Freddie Gibbs got beat up by them. He said his punches is soft. Now, okay, that could be true. Like, I don't know anything about Jim Jones actually fighting. I heard that it was his entourage that won the fight, not Jim Jones. So I thank you for that correction, Sean. Appreciate you. But it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. Like, after Big Boss Rabbit and a bunch of the other songs that Freddie Gibbs has been recently dropping leading up to this album, I've been telling people, I've been anticipating that Freddie Gibbs can begin to take that slot that has been vacated by Kendrick Lamar, because Kendrick hasn't released anything in years. If you're not showing up, you forfeit the title. Just like boxing. You can't just have the boxing title for years and not fight a match. You feel me? Kenny, if he don't show up and actually show that he's going to do something outside of being a feature on Baby Keem's project, trying to push and promote Baby Keem, his cousin, instead of trying to do that, Sean says, yo, Freddie never got beat up. If it was the case, Freddie should have got some scars on his bald head. Yeah, I mean, Freddie Gibbs came out like, yeah, it's me. Come on, it's me. It's the Rabbit. But my thing is, we haven't heard anything from them say anything about it. And I still see Jim Jones talking trash. Maybe they was just soft. I don't know. It is what it is. Like, I haven't spoken about it because I am still not 100% sure what went down. But from what the vast majority of anybody who was there, all they saying is Freddie Gibbs and his entourage got beat up. But yet you don't see no scars. That's why I'm like, yo, I can't really report on it till I get all the details to understand what's going on. This whole story is kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But, you know, who really, I mean, everybody wants to know, but there's nothing to really speak about until we find out, until we find everything. Until we find out everything about that, we don't know. But what we do know is Freddie Gibbs seems to be getting maximum promotion because Gunna wants to diss him. Twitter is going viral. Academics is trying to rub it in because he keeps on getting clowned by Freddie Gibbs. Like, and really the origin of the whole why Gunna is coming at Freddie Gibbs is because something that Freddie Gibbs said like a year ago. Yeah, I think it was about a year ago. And it was on Twitter. Freddie Gibbs said, if you was on Crime Stoppers TV, then you a snitch. No way around it. Now, what Freddie Gibbs is referring to is there was a Crime Stoppers clip where Gunna was explaining that his cousin, who was found guilty of a murder, he's feeling as though it wasn't him. So Gunna was on Crime Stoppers, which it somewhat was pointing to the person who actually did it. And then it also could be pointed at T.I. as well, because T.I., as part of his probation to get out of jail, he had to go ahead and film something on Crime Stoppers. And you know, I can't be mad at anybody who doesn't want to go to jail for an extended period of time and them boys is coming to you. Like, if you just film a Crime Stoppers, then we gonna give you the probation and all of that stuff. I can't be mad at you if that's where it's limited to, but typically that's not where it's limited to. Like, we all know if you're gonna get probation, you're gonna get out and all of that stuff. They don't want you to just shoot a video. They want you to tell on somebody too. You feel me? Now, don't have no evidence of anybody from Gunna to T.I. that they actually told anything like that. I'm just saying, based on how police operate, usually they're trying to get more than a Crime Stoppers clip. But if they get the Crime Stoppers clip, in a lot of cases, they got more than that in order for you to be out on the streets. That's just the way that this goes. I'm not saying that they snitched. I'm not saying that they didn't. I got no evidence to back it. I'm just telling you how them boys work. If them boys back you in the corner and they get you to be on Crime Stoppers, usually they get more out of you too. But you can tell this hurt Gunna a lot. So much so that 1 year, this actually happened on January, February, March, April. This happened on May the 19th, 2020. It's 2022, and Gunna is finally responding on an album. This is something that he's had on his mind for a very long time. And he's clearly not a good enough rapper to be able to do it in a swift amount of time. He's not good enough to actually, like, he needed all this time. He needed all 2 years in order for him to actually come back and say anything to Freddie Gibbs, and he's going to get demolished. He is going to get absolutely demolished for whatever it is he's about to say, regardless, because he's not that good of a rapper, while Freddie Gibbs is. Now, does Freddie Gibbs have a good point? I think so. Saying that, if you on Crime Stoppers, you telling something. That's a solid point. It's hard to combat that. But now, we're about to hear Gunna try to combat it. Try to give maybe he gives his point of view. Or maybe he just gives some balls where he's trying to talk trash in a slime kind of way. And it's limited to only 5 seconds. And it's just not interesting at all. But the interesting part is going to be Freddie Gibbs coming back with a whole track of disses towards all of these people. And it's going to be so good, none of them can do anything about it. That's what I think the odds are. That's what I think is really going to happen. You feel me? That's what I really deep down know is going to happen, because it's not like Freddie Gibbs isn't hungry anymore. This is the moment that he's been waiting for just one of the moments that he's been waiting for a very long time. You dig? Like, Gibbs had been trying to push towards mainstream dominance for years. And he's been updating his sound, changing with the industry, making the industry more legitimate with the music that he's been putting out. Like, okay, he did that whole Freddie album where it was like gangster R&B. That was a complete change off of what we was getting from ESGN, that we were getting from all of his previous works that I really love to no end. But yet, when he switched it up to that, and then switched it up to Pinata, like every popular sound that the music industry has been doing, Freddie Gibbs has been taking, molding it upon his own likeness, doing it better, doing it way better than anybody out there can. And then taking it, flipping it, getting more from it, and pushing it. Do not be shocked if he begins to take the Atlanta trap sound. He begins to take that Atlanta trap music and then try to mold it and make it more lyrical. Some way, somehow, you dig? Like, I mean, see, T.I. made trap music lyrical. He wasn't the most phenomenal lyricist, but he was a founder of trap music, and he was the most lyrical of the founders, from Jeezy, WAP, T.I. T.I. was more lyrical than all of them. I think Jeezy made the best music. Well, it's tough between T.I. and Jeezy, but I think T.I. made better music than Jeezy, but it was close. I mean, Jeezy made better classics. T.I. made a better body of music. But it goes to show you that trap music as a whole, even this new age trap music that's more focused on the drip, that's more of a spin-off of what Gucci was doing, but yet more of a dynamic singing direction of the trap music that Young Thug has brought to the table. Where trap music is right now, it needs somebody like Freddie Gibbs to take it and reinvent it and make it into something much more than what it is right now. They need someone like Freddie Gibbs who's been doing this from genre to genre. He did it with the real hip hop genre. He did it with gangster music as he made his gangster R&B project. Like he's revolutionizing and changing music. He did it pretty well with the Griselda sound. The Griselda sound off of All Glass. He did a song called All Glass where he took the Griselda sound, made it better than what Benny the Butcher and all them did because he's a better rapper. And I know a lot of people out there like Benny the Butcher and Griselda and all of them. Freddie Gibbs is a better rapper, better bars. He took this sound on all glass, made it 10 times better. We haven't heard it that good since. But that's what he can do. And he can take this form of trap music and do the same. And it wouldn't shock me if that's what he would do when now that he's heard that Gunna is going to make a diss song to him. You think he didn't go into the lab immediately? And the best way to go out and get back at somebody is to take the sound and make it better than anything that they've ever done with it because you're a better lyricist than they ever was. And the audience is going to be looking to you anyway because he's dissing you. So that's where the arena is. That's where the dissing arena is. That's what everybody who's coming into hearing this diss, that's what people want to hear. So you take the sound, you make it more lyrical, you do it 10 times better, and you pump it as a single leading up to this project that we've all been waiting for up to this point. Yes, Freddie Gibbs is going to take this and make it into something and use it as a catapult to push himself beyond where he was at before. And I know he's going to do it because he's not taking this beef seriously. There's no actual issues that Freddie Gibbs is actually getting tied down to. Like he said in his tweet, I love Gunna music. I think he's one of the best at making music. So to be recognized by one of the best is a blessing. Now don't take this get back shit personal. He's telling you, oh, I'm about to get you, cuz. I respect your music. I appreciate you putting me on. But yeah, I'm coming back. I'm coming back harder. Your whole audience is going to hear what I got to say now. And I'm going to eat you up in your likeness. That's the direction that I would go, at least. And Freddie Gibbs is a much better rapper than me. So it would not shock me at all if that's the direction that he goes and he actually accomplishes it. You dig? Like, it's moments like these that people begin to anticipate what you're going to do, how you're going to go. Like, honestly, the strategy is terrible here. Gunna's strategy is terrible. If you wanted it to be like just a demolition of Freddie Gibbs, if you wanted to just straight win and keep your name ringing and all that stuff, all you did by releasing a snippet and telling Freddie Gibbs that you on the way is you gave him more time. You gave Freddie Gibbs more time because your album, you ain't released the song yet. He already knows it's coming. So now he got days to prepare for you. He sees you coming from a mile away. He's going to spend maybe all of those days perfecting whatever response that he's going to have. And he might drop the response the day that you drop your album and use your own album as promotion for him. This is how I would do it. There's tactics to this. It's the art of war. You want to be a surprise. You don't want to come and tell people that you coming. You want to pop up, do what you need to do, surprise. Now the onus is on you to drop something fast in order to compete before people move on. But now that you already told Freddie Gibbs that you were on the way, you gave him plenty time to prepare for your album to drop something the day of your album that's going to be better than your album. And the audience, and he can be strategic with it and make something specifically for your audience that's better than what you've been delivering for your audience to take your audience. Strategy. Logic. This is how you go about this. You're giving Freddie Gibbs, like, you're giving him clearance to take off of your hype. And I'm all for it. I mean, see, this is the thing, man. Most people that get into the game, most people who get signed to these record labels, usually they're not the brightest bulbs. Usually they don't understand what's going on. And the reason why they don't understand what's going on is because, and that's why the record label signed them. You understand? Like, people who are smart do not sign the record deals that the record labels deliver to people. They don't do it. Why? Because the record labels are taking too much, they're doing too little, and they hold on to you and your masters for the rest of your life. This is something that is well known within the industry for a very long time. This has been well known, well documented. But the people who don't study this, the people who don't know this, y'all are the ones who end up getting caught up and being on VH1 behind the music. We never made $8 off of multi-million-dollar selling singles, multi-million-dollar albums. You don't think but 5 seconds ahead of your face. That's what makes Drake so difficult to defeat. Do y'all feel me on this? Drake, when it comes to dissing, he's like 3 steps ahead of you from the beginning. Like, go back to how he dismantled Meek Mill in a battle. Do you honestly think Drake didn't already have back-to-back when he did Charged Up? Like, he didn't record those all at the same time? That he didn't already have the plan that, okay, I'm going to drop this single? And how dependent on how Meek Mill comes back will be if I release this song right, how I release this song here. Where his actual main diss, all of his main disses were clearly on back-to-back. Is that your tour or is that your girl's tour? Had his whole city, Philadelphia, the football team, saying these bars. The Philly Eagles was saying Drake bars about Meek Mill. No one cared about the Charged Up, but yet the Charged Up joint, that was a primer. That was the jab before the hook. That was him trying to get Meek Mill to blow whatever song that he was going to try to respond to Drake for. That was him setting him up for the kill. You dig? Now, Meek Mill didn't fall for it. Meek Mill clearly didn't fall for it. But the problem was he didn't do anything at all. So Drake just came back with the haymaker because you just left your guard down and knocked him out. There was nothing Meek Mill could do after that point when Drake came back to back with the song that the song that was his actual diss that was harder than anything that Meek Mill could have came with. There was nothing Meek Mill could do after that point. The strategy to when it comes to dissing. And Gunna, as we see with his whole strategy here, this ain't strategy. This is you announcing to the world, using your diss as promotion, not using it as a way to get at somebody. You dig? Like, this is more of a clout chase than anything. This diss is more of I'm going to go ahead and try to use Freddie Gibbs' name to continue to push up my name, when that's not how this goes down. When you're the overdog, when you're the one who got the fan base, you're the one who got the notoriety, you're the one who's out here that actually got more to lose. when you the one who actually got more to lose, then you got to protect yourself at all times and make sure that the people that you're dissing don't end up riding your wave all the way up to the next level, like what happened with 50 Cent to Ja Rule. As many times as Ja Rule was dissing back to 50 Cent, there was nothing that he can do because the whole wave that Ja Rule had pretty much turned on him, and 50 rode that one to superstardom. Now, do I feel as though that's the same kind of thing that can happen here with Freddie Gibbs versus Gunna? I don't know. Like, it depends on if Freddie Gibbs is successful at turning Gunna's audience against Gunna. Because he can drop better music. He has the better he could have the better drip, I guess. The better everything. Like, if he can deliver on a level in which Gunna's audience want from Gunna, but yet better than Gunna, if he can deliver something of that caliber that's all raw disses, then yeah, I could see him taking Gunna's wave, riding it to superstardom. I could see it happening. But it's going to be tricky. And he only got, because if the album is actually coming out on Thursday, which I'm not entirely sure if it's coming out on Thursday midnight, Freddie Gibbs has had all day today to write this, and he's going to have all day tomorrow. He should be in the lab nonstop. He should be in the lab right now instead of like going back and forth on Twitter. He should already be plotting the comeback. He should already be having something, like he should already have like 3 to 4 songs to choose from that's along the same lines of the music that Gunna has released over his career. He should have something of that nature that when the album does drop, he can determine which one is the best fit, which one is the most classic that he can release. From there, drop that like right as like as soon as the album comes out, as soon as Gunna's album comes out, that's when I would drop my single. My diss towards Gunna that sounds like what Gunna does, but 10 times better with way tougher disses, because I want to ride the wave of what all of his social media followers and everybody is going to try to make, you dig? Like, that's how I would play it so that I can not only dismantle Gunna because I'm a better rapper than Gunna, I can do this way better than Gunna, but then also take whatever notoriety, the notoriety that comes from Gunna's album because he wanted to talk to me about his album. Like, all right, cool. Now I'm going to take your whole press run. I'm taking your whole promotion. I'm taking all of that for myself because I'm better than you and there's nothing you can do about it, weak rap. You feel me? There's strategy to this diss game. It's the art of war. But yet, rappers like Gunna, new age rappers who sign these deals, who don't know no better, that don't know how to think, but one step, like 5 seconds in front of their face. But an individual like myself, who I know Freddie Gibbs thinks like me. Well, I don't know if he thinks directly like me, but I know that he's more strategic than the vast majority of these people that's already out here. I see it in a lot of the moves and a lot of ways that he's taking other people's sound and making it better because he's a better rapper. Like, doing all of this, he has strategy, he's smart. And by you, Gunna, giving Freddie Gibbs 2 days to actually create something, to drop it right as your hype is jumping, this was not a smart move for you. You should have just dropped the diss and let the diss go viral on its own, off the album, when the album came out. So therefore, by the time that Freddie Gibbs is ready to drop something, your whole press run is come to an end. You've already done your numbers. You've already done everything that you want. There's no way that Gibbs is going to take what you've done and completely capitalize off of it immediately. But nope. That's not how he played it. Now you open yourself up. And now Freddie Gibbs is cleared for takeoff. Freddie Gibbs now can take the whole wave of this Gunna, what Drip 4, whatever the title of this album is going to be. Freddie Gibbs can take all of it and do the same thing that he did with Big Boss Rabbit. If you remember, Big Boss Rabbit was Freddie Gibbs upset with Nas because Nas won the Grammy Award from the King's Disease 2. Upset with that, he took a classic song from Nas, one of my favorite albums from Stillmatic. He took a classic song from that, remixed it, made it better off a classic album, made it better, and released it right after he lost the Grammys. That could be the exact formula that Freddie Gibbs uses to win this battle. Like, he says that he likes what Gunna does, so therefore he has a history of listening to what Gunna has. He could take one of Gunna's best songs, remix it, make it better lyrically, give it better disses, give it disses directly towards Gunna, flip it in ways that Gunna cannot do because he's not a good rapper. Like Freddie Gibbs is a transcendent rapper that people aren't giving the props to, that people aren't giving credit for. He can take one of the best songs that Gunna had. I don't know which one, to each their own, as you're saying there, Sean. He could take whatever the best song is, flip it like he did Big Boss Rabbit, put in raw disses, make it better than anything that he's done, have it already geared towards his fan base. So when this album starts trending, when it starts going ham on Twitter, drop the single, take that wave, go viral, take his fans. The fans will acknowledge the real. Continue to build your audience up, get more money, get more notoriety. That's how I would play it, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. There's strategies to everything involved, and I just gave you a key one on how Freddie Gibbs can win this, take his audience, never look backwards, continue to troll DJ Academics for promotion, because DJ Academics, all the people that just listen to him are people who have like very little attention spans. They really don't care about anything but gossiping and nonsense. So as long as DJ Academics is on this nonsense, that's typically where the mainstream media tends to follow, you dig? So the more that Academics is upset about Freddie Gibbs and putting out, trying to diss, like, as a commentator, you're trying to diss a rapper, you're never going to win that, especially a superior rapper. So as long as that's happening, we're seeing the whirlwind of speculation and trending that can push Freddie Gibbs into the stratosphere, into the top of the industry. He just need to create a classic album to intensify all of this that's been going around him. And based off of the bunch of the songs that we heard from him last year, I think it could be in the works. Sean says that Freddie should just be out rapping and minding his own business. Should be out out rapping these dudes. And no. See, here's the thing. If you just focus on the art instead of the BS that goes along with it, then, you typically cap your actual rise. You feel me? Like, most people, like I said in the Nas flop video, most people don't listen to music. Most people pretty much just ride the waves of whatever people are telling them they should listen to, whatever the mainstream media is on, whatever is trending. You feel me? So you have to play that trending game, the hype game, all these people with notoriety that's talking nonsense to you. Even though you're a better rapper making better music, you still should respond and you still have to contribute to the BS if you want your notoriety to continue to climb. If you want to be successful, then you have to play the game. You have to play the game on this kind of, you got to play the publicity game. You got to play the promotional game. And all of that has very little to do with actual music. All of that has actually very little to do with actual music. You smell me? But if you get good with it, when your name is trending, no matter what you do, when you just pop up and there's some academics beef and your name is trending off of that just randomly on it, your name continues to get brought up. You are continuously seen. People always have you on their thoughts. That's promotion. You can't get that by just releasing music sporadically because it takes time in order to put out quality music. We all know it takes time to put out quality music. But yet, for people to always be thinking about you doesn't necessarily have to come from quality music. It can come from speculation. It can come from the random disses that other people have for you. How much people want you to fall apart. How much people are hating on you. How much, like, fights with Jim Jones randomly happening. Things like this. The more you hear about Freddie Gibbs, the more people like, who is this guy, Freddie Gibbs? Why is everyone out here talking about him so much? Why is he trending? Why is it every time someone speaks about him, he's trending in the top 5 of all Twitter? Like, all of this is promotion that doesn't go anywhere near the music. As long as he come through and does the music the way he's supposed to do the music, as long as he continue to put out fire, then you can get the notoriety from the music all day. As long as you put out the fire that you can do. You dig? And you can take your time, you can do that right. But then, while that is happening, all of the nonsense that's happening in social media, people talking trash, people mad at you, people wanting to fight, all of this nonsense, use that to continue to pump your name. Sean says, that's why I hate the internet sometimes. They ruin the vibe and enjoyment of hip hop for 20-second buffoonery. And but that's always part of that. That was before the internet. That's always been part of the game. Before the internet was super, super popping, people would just hear it from the streets of what would happen. You would hear it from mixtapes. You would hear it from people on the ground floor of what's going on. Like, oh, 50 Cent got shot 9 times. That happened before the internet was really popping. But yet, that got spread out everywhere without mainstream media pushing it as promotion. until his album dropped and people really began to understand it. But everybody knew he got shot 9 times from mixtapes. Everybody knew the hype around him doing Wankster, going up against Ja Rule, all this before he got a deal. The hype of 50 Cent was ridiculous without the internet. You feel me? People care more about the beef in the streets, about the ignorance that goes on behind the scenes. They care more about the nonsense that's behind everything. People care more about Tory Lanez shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot than him dropping a top 5 album in the Alone at the Prom. Why? It's because people in general are nothing but gossipers. People who ain't got nothing else to do with their time, trying to pass by life. They don't really care necessarily about the music. They care more about juicy details that they can tell people by the water cooler. They can gossip left and right about who they feel as though is the best. They can gossip about everything. They don't care if these people are dropping great music that can change the way the music industry, like if they cared about music, Freddie Gibbs would have blew up a long time before this. But now Freddie Gibbs is utilizing the beef, the nonsense, the, what is it? It's human nature. Human nature to gossip. Human nature to be about nothing. Human nature to just be BSing all the time. This is one of the reasons why this channel right here that you're listening to haven't blown up. It's because I'm not one for all the gossiping and all of that. I've always been one trying to find the great music, the transcendent music, so that the game can change, so that we can actually get quality music over the nonsense that mainstream media is pushing. But that's not how the game is played. And I've been going against the grain for so long. I built a decent audience, but audience ain't quite strong enough to push me through that highest level. You feel me? That I would like to be, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, people as a whole, not on the individual level, like I deal on the individual level, you feel me? I like to speak with the individuals. I like to actually follow the best rappers. I like to listen to the best music. I like to promote underground rappers that don't get a shot. I like to do all of this. But I'm an individual. The music industry as a whole, there's only 2 ways to go about it to get to that massive, super popularity level. The first level, go ahead and sell out everything to get signed to the mainstream media and pray that they put multi-million-dollar promotion behind you with all of their connections to force your music down people's throats. That's one. Not the smartest way, because you end up owing these people for life. You end up not getting anything from your art. You end up getting stuck behind labels for a very long time. You're not able to do anything that you want to do. Okay. The second way is you feed into the bullshit. Oh, you feed into the Gunna wanna diss me. People think that I got beat up by Jim Jones. DJ Academics, who's one of the biggest trolls of all time, dude who's afraid of women, but yet he tries to get gangster on women and all this stuff. Dudes like this, you troll the trolls who have the massive audience, and whenever they open up their mouth, they have to talk about you. You feed into the nonsense, and all of the people that only listen, then the vast majority of people that only follow hip hop for the nonsense, they don't follow the music. Instead, they want, like, it. over the something that I realized over the holidays. Like, I was playing some bangers for my cousins and stuff because they don't listen to any of the music that I be telling them that I be reviewing and stuff. They don't listen to it, even though clearly you know that I got the jams. You always ask me to play the jams in all of these places. You know I got the jams. But they don't know any of the jams because they don't watch any of the videos. They don't actually listen to any of the music that I tell people to listen to. But whenever I talk about things like, oh, did y'all hear about Freddie Gibbs getting into a fight? Oh, they know about that. They don't know about any of the songs that I've been telling people to listen to over all of this time period. They don't know nothing about that. But they know all about the petty drama, the petty beefs that go viral. Everybody knows about that. People know about the petty beefs. Why? Because people don't follow music unless they are specifically told to listen to it by the mainstream audience or by people as a whole. When everybody rallies behind somebody and says, yo, you have to listen to this, that's when people as a whole will begin to listen to your stuff. And the way you get to that, you feed into the bullshit. And I'm hoping that anybody who's listening to this, who's an underground artist, hope you're taking notes. I hope you realize I'm giving you fucking game here. I'm giving you the fucking keys to build up your notoriety around the nonsense that's around your name. You dig? Everything is promotion. Shaw says basically the fruity tea. Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's all this shit is. People only care about gossip. People only care about dropping tea and all of that. And if you find a way, if your name somehow gets tied in to anything like this, the key for you to propel yourself from where you at to a super popular level is to feed into it, but yet you twist it into your music. You twist it into you doing something bigger, greater, forcing people to actually listen to you because everybody's going to be so focused on the nonsense. This is how you do it. But I appreciate everybody who came through, man. Everybody who came through, watched this video. Sean in particular, you my dog. Again, I'm not trying to do videos every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like I was doing before, because I end up making a lot of videos that only but a hand. Like, I mean, people show up. I get a good ranking. I get a good amount of views, but just like with this disses and all of this stuff, when people want to hear about it, that's when I want to be there to talk about it. You dig? I can't continue to force people into... I can't force people, clearly, off of all of these years that I've been doing this, I can't force people to not be full of shit. So, when there are topics that demand our attention, that we should speak about, that's when I'm going to try to show up. That's when I'm going to talk about what I need to do. And I'll take some risks and see some topics that, you know, look like I could talk about, that people look to be interested in. I'll always experiment. But for the most part, I'm not going to force myself to do a video every day. Because, I mean, I have over the long period of time, but clearly that's not the thing that's going to take me to the next level. The thing that'll take me to the next level is being there when people want to hear about whatever's going on. It's all part of the same game. You dig? But I appreciate everybody who's coming through, all the playbacks. I see the playbacks have been going crazy. Appreciate everybody, man. Catch you guys the next time I catch you. Y'all be easy.